Welcome to FLPA Talks, a family law podcast. We are FLPA, the Family Law Practitioners Association of Queensland. Family law is a wonderfully rewarding career, but is not without its challenges. Join us as we explore the issues that impact on the practice and well-being of family law practitioners. We hope our episodes will not only inform and inspire you, but encourage you to reach your potential. Enjoy this episode.
Hi, I'm James Bailey. Today I have the pleasure of welcoming Marianne Huth of Legal Aid Queensland, here talking to us about why people should be a preferred supplier for Legal Aid Queensland. Marianne, welcome.
Thanks, James.
Marianne, can you tell me about the why people should get on the Legal Aid panel, and where is there a particular need?
There's a particular need for practitioners in regional areas to help support Legal Aid deliver services to those clients. There's a lot of issues that people in regional areas have, legal issues with crime and family and civil issues that Legal Aid can assist with, and it's really important for people in those regional areas to have access to justice and to support from a lawyer for their circumstances.
Yep, no, that makes sense. So why would somebody choose to go onto the Legal Aid panel, perhaps in circumstances where it's not particularly well paid?
Well, you're supporting some of the most vulnerable clients in the state in difficult circumstances, and Legal Aid is there to provide assistance for those clients, and we do rely on preferred suppliers, particularly in regional areas, to be able to provide that support, information and advice to those clients.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. So in circumstances where everybody understands there are limits on legal aid budgets and how much we can get from the federal government, what are some of the other ways in which legal aid supports preferred suppliers, and what are some of those perhaps more intangible benefits that don't come with a particular cost but can add benefit to your firm?
Legal Aid does a lot of work in the CPD space, so in the training space. Legal Aid develops a number of webinars available to preferred suppliers on all of the aspects of the legal practice that Legal Aid deals with, such as civil law, criminal law and family law. They're made available to preferred suppliers who are on the panel or who wish to be on the panel, and there's access to other databases and meet and greets with the various grants officers and other people in Legal Aid who will support our preferred suppliers. So there's a lot of benefits for practices and practitioners who want to partner with Legal Aid to provide services to our clients.
Okay. So when you're a Legal Aid preferred supplier, evidently you render bills and there's a particular platform in which you do that. Can you go ahead and explain that a bit?
Well, Legal Aid has software platforms where payments are made and grants of aid are allocated to preferred suppliers. Legal Aid is working hard to help preferred suppliers to make that process easier, and if there are firms who are interested in becoming preferred supplier firms, there is information available about how our systems work and meet and greets with grants officers and the like, so that the process becomes smooth and easy for preferred suppliers to partner with Legal Aid.
So Marianne, there are a number of panels for Legal Aid. Can you just tell our listeners what are the panels that are available with Legal Aid for those that have a family law background or interest?
Well, the areas of law which family lawyers might be familiar with are the ones that we have panels for. Of course, partner agencies doing work in the domestic violence courts, also in the child protection courts, and of course for family law practitioners choosing to take matters at Legal Aid cases for the family courts. They're the three areas of law, at least in the family law practice. Of course, there's other panels, crime panels and panels in relation to other areas of practice in legal aid, but they're the main ones for the family law practice.
So if you were interested in getting onto the Legal Aid panel, Marianne, is there more information that people can access to sort of find out more about it?
Sure. Legal Aid is really working hard to assist people who want to become preferred suppliers for legal aid to be able to do so. There is some information on our website about that, and the folks in the preferred supplier team are really helpful and can provide information about the process and how to go about becoming a preferred supplier for legal aid.
So whereabouts on the website is that information, Marianne?
If you go to the Legal Aid website, there is a For Lawyers section, and if you look in there, that will give you the information that you're looking for. And that's not just for family law. There's panels for criminal lawyers and all of the types of law that Legal Aid do. So you can become a general family lawyer, a crime lawyer for the panel, or do civil work as well.
Excellent, thank you. So Marianne, if you were wanting to become an ICL, an independent children's lawyer, tell me why people might be interested in doing that kind of work and what kind of people Legal Aid are really interested in terms of taking on that work.
So being an independent children's lawyer is a very different way of seeing a case as a family lawyer. When you act for a party, you need to take instructions, you're guided by what those parties' needs are. An independent children's lawyer role is much broader. It allows the lawyer who takes up that role to have a completely open view of what the case and the evidence is, and their role is to assist the court to make the best decision for the children in that litigation. So it has a lot of aspects to its role. It enables the gathering of evidence, consideration of that evidence, and coming to a conclusion that is not bound by the instructions of the client. It also has a lot of responsibilities attached to it in terms of ensuring that the best interests of the children that you are representing as the independent children's lawyer are prominent, and that there is evidence for the court around those best interests. So it's a balance between ensuring that you're being conscious and aware of the needs of the child, but also participating in the litigation as a lawyer and the usual responsibilities that come along with being a lawyer.
So what's the process for becoming an ICL, Marianne?
Okay, first of all, you have to have been admitted and practicing as a lawyer in family law for at least 5 years before you can commence the process. You need to have at least a decent amount of experience as well in family law and be competent. And you need to have undertaken the relevant training. So there is a national training course. National Legal Aid developed a comprehensive training program for accrediting ICLs across Australia. The first part of that is a training which is done online and self-paced, which works through a number of modules, and some of those modules are about the role of the independent children's lawyer, about family violence and separated families, about child development and attachment, the impacts of trauma, children's mental health and adult mental health. At each stage of that training, there's a quiz to check the knowledge and the understanding of the person who's doing the course. The second phase of the training, once that online training is complete and you've reached a level of competence, then the second phase is a face-to-face training day, done usually in each state at various times of the year. The participants in that face-to-face training day work through a scenario in groups across the course of the day, and those groups are supported by an independent children's lawyer who has been practicing for some time, and usually there's a social scientist as part of each of the groups, and they discuss the factual scenarios, they discuss practice issues, they discuss the way that litigation should run and the things that new independent children's lawyers should think about in the fact scenarios, so that they get a practice run of what a case might look like over the course of that training day. These workshops are arranged by Legal Aid Queensland, and they usually happen once or twice a year, and that information will be up on the Legal Aid website about when those training days might be coming up. Other states also do these training days, so if somebody was really wanting to become an independent children's lawyer and there wasn't a training day in Queensland arranged, then there's a possibility of attending one interstate. Once the first two phases, the online phase and the training day, has occurred, Legal Aid Queensland also does what we call a nuts and bolts workshop, which is a kind of third phase of the ICL training, where Legal Aid gets report writers, specialists like psychiatrists, people from the Department of Child Safety along, and that gives some practical information about what you might need as an independent children's lawyer to be able to understand some of the practical elements of getting information from Department of Child Safety, or how report writers, do their work, how police might provide information under subpoena and those sorts of things. So that gives new independent children's lawyers some practical tools to allow them to be successful when they take on their first file. Once they've done that training, then they can apply to become a panel member on the specialist ICL panel for Legal Aid Queensland. And if people were interested in doing that, they can have a look on the Legal Aid website, search Become a Specialist Panel Member, and under that search you should be able to find documents about how to become an ICL. There is an interview process to assess practitioners to make sure that they have the appropriate skills and experience for the role. And if after that interview process they're successful, then they will be assisted by our preferred supplier group to make an agreement with Legal Aid to take that work and be on our panel.
Marianne, you're a practitioner with considerable experience and are in a position where you know many very experienced lawyers and a lot of people who have become independent children's lawyers over time. What is your own experience, and what have you garnered from the experience of others in terms of why they enjoy their role of becoming an independent children's lawyer?
James, it's a really unique role because you're not bound by instructions, so you can take a very broad view of a case and come to conclusions on the evidence that might not be the same as if you were acting on instructions. But you can also do a whole lot of good in proceedings in terms of gathering evidence that might be of assistance to assist good orders to be made for a child. You can help facilitate things that can occur in the proceedings which might make a difference to the family or the child, setting up counselling or therapeutic arrangements, assisting in identifying other things that might be needed in the litigation. So there is a satisfaction, at least for me as a practitioner, when I do this work, because it is such a unique role, and the court has a great deal of admiration and assistance from independent children's lawyers in litigation, that it is quite important to have good ICLs to be able to support the court to make good decisions about children's matters.
Excellent, thank you. Marianne, you mentioned before that there's that online course. Can you tell us how long is it a sort of an estimate as to how long the course should take?
It depends on how long you've got to, the time you've got to give to it. But the modules are set up, as I said, in different phases of the training. It does generally take some time, up to sort of 15 or 20 hours, but you can space that time out. You can work through the modules in your own time. So whilst it might seem an onerous kind of responsibility to get through all of that time, you can do it as a self-paced arrangement. So it doesn't have to be done all in one go. You can stop and start the online course whilst you're doing it.
Excellent. So Marianne, if there are people who are interested and have questions either about becoming a preferred supplier or alternatively an independent children's lawyer, is there some kind of email address that people can address their inquiries to?
If you go to our Legal Aid website and you search for Become a Preferred Supplier, you'll be directed to the part of our website that does cover becoming a preferred supplier, as well as information about becoming a preferred supplier on the Independent Children's Lawyer panel. So just go to the Legal Aid website and you should be able to find the information that you need.
Excellent. Thanks very much for your time today.
Thank you, James.
Thank you for listening to Flipper Talks, a family law podcast. We hope you enjoyed the podcast today. We confirm that the information we discussed today was just that, information for educational and entertainment purposes only. It is not specific advice. If something discussed has you considering whether you should take steps, it is important to make sure you get professional advice about your unique situation before you proceed, whether that be legal, financial, accounting, medical, or other advice. Please reach out to Flipper if there's another topic you'd like explored, and if you know someone who might benefit from the show, remember to tell them about it. Thank you for listening.